Oh yeah. Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh shit. Allerede banger. Ja. Så de rumvæsen streame lidt. Og tænkte om, hey, vi skal selv tjene nogle penge. Nå, hvis tjener ikke penge på det her, men for subs. Og det er altid noget. Shout til min bror. Hey, ja, og der er lyd på. Jeg kan sige. Mørse rumvæsen. Det er godt. Det er jeg glad for. Jeg har prøvet noget før. Ved om det lykkes. Kender I det, man kan høre den fra langt væk fra? Oh shit. Den vælter.
Codename Kids Next Door and asking the age-old question, which side was really in the wrong? Like this season, we got the kids waging biological warfare on the teens with unpoppable pimples and redirecting air traffic to make the Grand Canyon into a giant cereal bowl. But on the other hand, the adults try to cut their kids' hair themselves. This season of K&D aired from October of 2005 to August of 06, with a pretty strange release schedule. Instead of premiering primarily on Cartoon Fridays, this season had a new episode premiere nearly every day of the week, which is probably why my memory of this season's more spotty than the others. The most significant change this season has to be the departure of co-writer Mo Willems, who pursued his career as a picture book creator, and you've probably seen his work before, most notably his first published book, Don't Let the Pigeon Drive the Bus. Replacing Mo Willems was Andy Reingold, who Mr. Warburton describes as writing with a much more loose, oddball style compared to the structure of Willems. Obviously, it's a little hard for me to parse which parts of what stories you can connect to any one writer, but to his point, this season has some of the craziest concepts of the whole show. So let's just jump into the first episode of Season 5, Operation Ducky. Dirty, unwashed captains, cowardly yaw. So we start the season strong with my favorite character, the Tommy.
Hvor er
Not to be
Mester?
confused with just Tommy. He's reluctant to take a bath, but when he slips in, is somehow transported to the SS Stinky Pants, which is like a parody of the USS Enterprise from Star Trek. And we even get our very own William Shatner parody, Captain James P. Durr.
Time is something we don't have, Dr. Buckthorn. She's right on our tail, and she will not rest until I, Captain James P. Dirt, and all of you boys are squeaky clean.
On top of all the Star Trek references, we also have a Moby Duck reference here, as we see the crew narrowly escape. Remembering his older brother's advice to not run from his problems, Tommy leads the crew to fight Moby Duck head-on, harpooning him with plungers and trying to drag him down the Great Drain, though if this is
Moby
the
Duck.
bathtub, it might be more of a sinkhole. Before they can do this, we learn the Duck's actually the captain's mom, who's been trying to get him to take a shower for 36 years. You know, if he didn't get dragged down the drain here, I just know he would have loved Pokemon card scalping. Rest in peace. Now the focus this time around is which side is in the right or wrong here, and I gotta say, we're actually starting with the kids being in the wrong for not taking a bath.
Og hjemmemyr.
That's just
Okay.
nasty, man. So let's move on to episode 1B, Diaper. Drooling infants awarded perilous emergency rescue. The
Og så kan du ikke se, at jeg ikke gør noget for
the
hende.
hospital as they believe the adults have been kidnapping babies and turning them directly into adults. Number 5 says this can't be true because her older brother has kids and that didn't happen to them. So it's kind of cool lore added to the Lincoln family to know Abigail has an older brother who probably lives in France according to a Q&A Mr. Warburton did on this fan forum in the mid-2000s. Abby also tries to explain that babies don't come from baby eggs, but the kids start crying and cut her off, so she sings them a lullaby to get them to go back to sleep. So you might be familiar that number 5's voice actor is Cree Summer, but you might not know that she's actually a pretty good singer, which makes sense. I feel like a lot of very successful voice actors can also sing well, but I'll bet you didn't know she has her own album, so you should totally like and subscribe for that tidbit. I'm just saying. In 1999, she released the album Street Fairy, which actually got pretty good reviews. It was even produced by Lenny Kravitz. And overall, I genuinely enjoyed listening to this album. Going back to the episode, one of the babies steals number 5's teeth because they're sick of all the baby talk and baby food they're subject to, and yeah, I kind of forgot way back in season 1, they established the kids wear dentures because they take such awful care of their teeth. I think my most controversial ruling in these K&D videos is that Nightbrace was in the right for cleaning these kids' teeth against their will, and I get why people would say forcing a medical procedure on someone's, like, bad and stuff, but any kid who can't talk without dentures, it's just sad to me. So yeah, I'm doubling down on that take. This baby wearing the dentures is so disturbing. I think it's the fact the teeth are all crooked, it just looks really gross. Especially when you combine it with Tara Strong channeling one of her Rugrats baby voices.
No longer tolerate baby talk from stupid adults like you!
The babies form a giant mech to try to take the other kids' teeth, and the only way to soothe these savage babies is with music. So number 1 sings them to sleep, but it was actually just so bad he knocked the babies out. Unlike Cree Summer, Ben Diskin doesn't really have a background as an actual singer. Like, the only instance I can find of him singing was a soft piano version of the song Treat You Better, specifically channeling another role of his as Haida from the show Agretzko, specifically after being heartbroken and drunk and falling down in the rain.
I won't lie to you. I know he's just not right for you.
Anyways, number 5 gets her teeth back and ends the episode finally telling the kids where babies actually come from.
Wait a second. That's preposterous. Babies don't come from New Jersey. They come from Philadelphia.
This is probably a jab at the fact series creator. Mr. Warburton is from the Philadelphia area in a borough called Ambler. So when I visited Philly earlier this year, I had to record a video getting a really good pizza here just in case it ever came up. We're here in Ambler, Pennsylvania, the birthplace of Mr. Warburton, creator of Kids Next Door. Now there's no Kids Next Door anything in the town as you probably expect, but we got some good pizza from the pizza box and it's like 10 degrees. And yeah, that's all. Going back to our classic question of who's in the wrong, the kids are obviously wrong about how the adults are converting babies into adults, let alone the fact they're coming from New Jersey, so we gotta put them in the wrong here. But it's like more in a wrong than a guilty kind of way. Episode 2, Elections, Enemy launches evil campaign to inflame our noble school. The delightful children are elected the next presidents of the 4th grade, and their first order of business is throwing Nigel in solitary detention. Nigel's so badass here, like him flying through the prisons like Attack on Titan nearly a decade before the show.
shit. Jeg ved ikke, hvad du sender mig, Mia, men what the fuck?
We've talked about Mr. Warburton's love of anime like One Piece, but I'll never have another relevant opportunity to show the cover of a random sketchbook of his he posted on his blog, Attack on Tintin? We learned this rigged election is part of Chad and the teenagers' plan to pit all the grades against each other in order to destroy the kids next door, but Nigel records this conversation, revealing this game to the rest of the school, and is able to rally the elementary students against the teenagers. It's pretty cool to see a bit of the other grades' leaders and personalities, and there's so much going on in some of these shots, it's really cool. Despite the complexity of it all, they do a good job of making all the action simple enough to digest, like giving each character their own little moment. My favorite being number 2 deliberately crashing his own vehicle into the teenagers and taking them all out. The second half of this episode's very Star Wars-esque in its presentation. Like, we have the shots inside the cockpit of the vehicles, or Nigel shooting a tennis ball down the hall at the principal's door, kind of like the exhaust port of the Death Star. Yeah, you'll probably notice there seems to be a lot more movie references this season. I like the concept that Nigel hitting the principal's door will alert him to the chaos going on outside, like he just can't see or hear it otherwise. Nigel misses the shot, but Chad runs over the tennis ball, crashing into the office and causing a series of explosions, which I'm assuming are
shit.
from the principal's rage. Back at school, Nigel goes on stage to accept his rightful presidency, but we learn the truly elected president of the 4th grade class isn't the delightful children, or Nigel, but Egbert.
Who would vote for him?
Alle hans venner.
So yeah, the adults are wrong here for rigging the election, especially from someone as goated as Egbert. I mean, even the other kids next door all voted for him instead of their own comrade.
He's seen good times, and he's seen bad times, but Egbert isn't the kind to scramble key points, or go over easy on real issues. Egbert Eggleston. If you're not voting for him, the yoke's on you. This ad paid for by the We Love Egg Boy, yes we do, We Love Egg Boy, How About You coalition, and is endorsed, approved, and otherwise okie dokie by Egbert Eggleston and all members of the Egg Boy for 4th grade president campaign.
Operation 3A Bullies, big ugly lumps like intimidating and trapped scaredy cats. This episode has numbers 2 and 4 going on a trip to Bully Island, where they help this kid Jerry Rassick learn more about bullies and their natural habitat. The fact Jerry walks with a cane made me assume he was gonna be an adult pretending to be a kid and trapping them here, but I genuinely enjoy the twist that Jerry's a kid and his back issues aren't from old age, but rather this awful seesaw wedgie number 4 gave him back in the 1st grade. Numbers 2 and 4 are the most prominent buddy-buddy duo we see throughout this show, and this episode really adds a fresh new layer to this dynamic by examining their differences as a bully and a dork. It's not terribly deep, or maybe these kids are just too complex for me to sit here and say, yeah, number 2's a nerd, because like he's way too badass for that label. Same thing for number 4, he's way too much of a dork for me to sit here and say he's just a bully. While the concept's great, the episode overall is a bit flat for me. Like, I love the concept of the episode, the layout of the island, even the designs of the bullies, like these ones whose jacket collars frill up like reptiles. But I find myself not really rooting for anyone here. Like, number 4 doesn't really care much about the bullying or feel much remorse. He just gets bullied out of revenge, and then the bullies end up attacking Jerry. Obviously, 2 wrongs don't make a right, and there's something to be said about getting revenge and how that'll only lead to an endless cycle of more revenge. But yeah, I kind of just end this episode feeling bad for Jerry. Like, he got bullied so badly he walks with a cane. And even through this whole ordeal, number 4 didn't even learn anything. He just kind of said, hey, don't tell anyone about this, while still planning to beat that nerd up if he catches him. Obviously, it's not that serious, and it's kind of looking too far into a simple plot being used to make a fun K&D version of Jurassic Park. But these little things really did prevent me from getting into this episode, where I found myself really engaged with other shows that really took the time to look more into why a kid may have bullied others in the past, or what made them change their ways. The best example I can think of a show that did this really right for me is like Fillmore, but that's another video for another day. So yeah, all of the kids here are in the wrong for some sort of combo of vengeance or bullying or something, so let's move on. Operation 3B Fishy, feline invaders swarm headquarters yearningly. Number 4 shakes number 3's fishbowl, putting Mr. Fishy to sleep, presumably forever. This episode does something really cool by breaking the kids up into 2 separate buddy-buddy duos, that being the classic team of numbers 2 and 4 who go to flush Mr. Fishy before the crazy old cat lady steals him, as well as a really fun team in numbers 1 and 5 who try to win Kooky a new fish at the carnival. This is really the perfect setting for 2 serious, competent characters, and it kinda goes to show no matter how seriously they take themselves, they're still just kids. But even if they weren't kids, I think any serious character contrasts in a really funny way at a carnival. Number 4 makes it to this giant toilet all the operatives flush their fishes down, but he's become attached to Mr. Fishy, even holding on to the hope or delusion that Mr. Fishy might just be sleeping this whole time. This whole sequence gives us yet another movie parody, this time with The Lord of the Rings, specifically when Gollum falls into Mount Doom with the ring, which is pretty funny. I feel like I never get tired of seeing this scene parodied in shows, despite not having seen the movies yet myself. Though my absolute favorite Mount Doom parody has gotta be the one from Total Drama World Tour. In the end, we learn this toilet leads directly back to the carnival game number 1's playing, and the fish all play dead and get flushed back here for kids to spend more money buying new fish friends. Man, that's a great business strategy, but it's pure evil. Your whole business revolves around traumatizing children, taking their money, and worst of all, forcing them to play carnival games. Like, hey, I love carnival games, but take a look at Steph Curry, the best three-point shooter of all time, trying to make buckets on these hoops. The whole contraption shakes. He did hit the money balls though. So here the adults are definitely in the wrong for this corrupt business scheme, but it's a great idea, I can't lie. Episode 4A, Breakup. Boys ruin everything and create upset people. Wallaby keeps playing in the house and breaking this koala vase no matter what he does or where he goes, and I'm assuming this is some cheesy, cheap vase they got like 100 copies of or something, because Wallaby's mom keeps replacing it and tells him if he breaks it again, she's gonna send him to ballroom dancing school, a fate even worse than military school. The vase gets stolen by a random kid and taken to the Coliseum we saw last season during the Bully Matador episode, but here the kids are playing baseball, which is like baseball but with vases and any other fragile objects. Number 4 steals this vase back before it gets smashed and hides away in the commissioner's office, who's the same kid Ernest who ran the Matador scheme last season. Here he's anything but earnest, like his plan is to get every kid in the neighborhood grounded so the boys can go egg and TP everyone's homes without anyone snitching on them. I don't really see how a kid getting grounded would stop them from tattling, like it probably gives some kids alibis to why they couldn't have done it. According to the K&D wiki, Ernest is probably named after author Ernest Hemingway, who was a Spanish bullfighting enthusiast, which is pretty interesting to consider. Writing the bullfighting tangent, if you remember the song number 4 whistled last season, that's the quote-unquote Five Nights at Freddy's song. This tune Wallaby whistles is the aria Toreador March from the French opera Carmen. The song's used in a fair bit of media besides Kids Next Door and FNAF, and I personally don't hear it and think about Five Nights at Freddy's. It's not like how the word suspicious was moving in 2020 with like Among Us. Hell yeah.
Det var skønt. Han er meget bedre nu. Nå. Sushi. Sushi. Ja tak, ja tak, ja tak. Åh nej. Jo. Hvad så, Valdemar? Hvorfor kan jeg ikke donere? Det er 2 minutters forskel, oh my god. Sushi! Det er sådan, vi siger det. Oh my god. Jeg ser Stevie G. Most disturbing. Darkest conspiracy theory. Ja. Deadly Purge. Skal vi se de farligste bjørne. Mordecai broke him, what the fuck? Jeg har ikke set serien. Great Dad was okay. Okay. Ja. Blackward var okay. Liam Payne. Goku vs. Superman. Unfair. Ja, det ved jeg. Mucho. Lad os se, om vi kan se den her.
This episode of Death Battle sponsored by Shady Rays. His fears, defeating this cicada queen goddess thing, and saving his family by Shady Rays.
If you're not met, 50,000 people. Stars by over 250,000 people.
All right, the combatants are set. We've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for us.
For AI!
Oh God! When I say it like that, it sounds.
Ja, ja, ja. Muriel? Damn. Jeg har set den før, men alligevel shit. Oh shit.
All dogs love their bones, don't they?
This could be bad. My name isn't Chad James. It's not.
Hvad hører du? Fuck løs! Oh, come on. Someone has that.
You made me look bad. What's that? Well, ow. Come here. I hate that stupid dog. KO!
Wait, what? Who won?
Whiz,
Ja, hvem
as
vandt?
happy as I am to avoid on-screen dog murder.
The Tyranny.
Anyone raised in the late 90s and early 2000s remembers that glorious era of some of the most action-packed wish-fulfillment cartoons ever created. From the genre-defining Dragon Ball Z to the comedy-action stylings of the Powerpuff Girls, there was no shortage of characters with mind-blowing powers for you to watch as a kid in your pajamas after stealing a soda from your parents' garage. But I'd argue that one of the most influential shows of this nature was the critically acclaimed Ed,
Ja, det er også her crazy.
After a somewhat slow and tame first season, this show became nuts. A non-stop barrage of relentless action with characters performing superhuman feats on a regular basis. Now, while the Dragon Ball Z fan base has no shortage of power level comparison videos, for Ed, Edd and Eddy fans, that task is a bit trickier, as
Yeah.
characters seem to be on a more even playing field. But I knew it could be done. I've watched every single episode, I've taken notes, and I've done my best to rank every single main character in this show in order to make what I hope will be the definitive Ed, Edd and Eddy tier list. A quick disclaimer, I'll only be ranking the 12 staple main characters we've seen throughout the whole show. One-off characters like Ed's imaginary friend Jib, the alternate reality Cupid Jimmy and Sarah, and even Eddy's own brother won't be appearing on this list. I apologize to fans of these characters, but simply put, there's not enough data to determine how well they stack up to everyone else. Also, yes, the characters in the individual tiers are ranked to themselves, meaning characters further left are higher than the ones on the right. And one last thing, though it is a fan favorite, I won't be using data from 1 + 1 = Ed, as it's mostly a non-canon filler episode.
Oh yeah.
Without further ado, this is what did I call it? This is Gross Creepy Dork with Terrible Diction Productions, and let's end it up. First up, we have the D tier, and yeah,
Du putter Jimmy derned!
people would be surprised seeing Jimmy at the very bottom. Now, I'm not saying that he has no redeeming qualities, because there are a few. It's shown that he can be rather crafty and cunning, coming up with his own successful scams, and there was even one time when he was able to deceive all 3 Eds, as well as the entire neighborhood, right under everyone's nose. So he gets some points for that. But the sheer amount of times he's been shown to be weak, accident-prone, cowardly, accident-prone, easily fooled, and yeah, did I mention accident-prone? Yeah, that just kind of outweighs any chance Jimmy had at rising from the bottom. In terms of physical strength, Jimmy's got pretty much nothing. He has occasionally managed to best some characters above him, but they've often been ones that are only a couple of notches higher. I mean, there was the episode Hand Me Down Ed, where Jimmy received a tremendous power boost, but that wasn't due to any training on his part and was more achieved through the reality-altering powers of the boomerang. In fact, it was Jimmy's own lack of strength that made him so powerful when coming in contact with the artifact. The only other physical feat I can recall is his sumo wrestler transformation, causing him to become this
Oh yeah.
immovable object. But while this form does drastically increase his defense, it offers very little improvement to his offensive capabilities, and his mobility becomes practically nothing. In fact, Jimmy's greatest advantage, apart from his charismatic dance moves, is the close friendship he's established with one of the most powerful characters in the series. But that does very little to improve his own stats, and
Ja, det er rigtigt.
winning.
Du ser også Jimmy
Sorry
ned.
there,
Han har brug for Sarah.
Love you as a character, though. Let's move up to the C tier, where we have the first of our main trio. Now, in terms of physical strength, Double D is practically on Jimmy's level. His offensive capabilities are laughable, and his stamina is completely pitiful. But unlike Jimmy, Double D has some clearly defined and consistent skills that have the potential to make up for his weaknesses, mostly stemming from his intellect. Double D is one smart cookie, a character many believe to be the most intelligent one in the entire series.
Ja,
A
ja.
sentiment that I'm not sure I quite agree with, but more on that later. His main strength would have to come down to his inventiveness. Double D has been able to build some amazing contraptions using nothing but everyday items found lying around. Not only that, but he's also been shown that he's able to build devices like this completely on the fly, proving that he's able to think quick on his feet. However, while these machines are decently effective for their intended purposes, in a scenario, I feel like they wouldn't go as well. Their durability tends to be on the flimsy side due to the unstable methods of their construction. But still, Double D has created more simple and compact devices that would be able to make up for some of his physical limitations. But now we get back to the question of whether or not I believe Double D is the smartest character on the show, and, well, that all depends on how you look at it. In terms of being book smart, well, yeah, Double D has no equal. He's clearly very well educated in all sorts of texts and scientific research and stuff like that. Where I feel he lacks is in terms of things like street smarts and his social abilities and sometimes even common sense. I mean, Double D has been fooled by some pretty obvious and ridiculous tricks in the past, usually as a result of his overly neurotic nature. He also seems to lack a certain sense of craftiness that many other characters possess. Given Double D's intellect, you'd think he'd have already studied and researched all the weaknesses of the cul-de-sac kids in order to be able to exploit them, but he kind of hasn't. In fact, Double D has made attempts to control others, and they've never worked out. There was the time he tried to suppress Eddie and Ed's mischievous behavior, but the two ended up turning the situation completely around on him, humiliating him in the process. Then there's the time he tried to control the entire cul-de-sac community in order to educate them, but he was completely ignorant to their interests, being blinded by his own ambitions to the point where he ultimately failed to engage any of them, and the whole plan crumbled around him. There is one exception to this, however, and it's with the other Eds. I suppose it's because he spends so much time with them, but he is actually able to deceive them and play to their own strengths and weaknesses. The episode Eds and Tails is a great example of that, where Eddie and Double D end up racing each other for a jawbreaker, with both of them employing all sorts of underhanded tactics in order to sabotage each other, and Double D is actually shown to be a decent match for Eddie here. I don't know. Some people might disagree with this placement, but this is honestly how I feel about the character. Naz. The character with probably the goofiest sounding name in the whole show. Seriously, has anyone in the history of humanity ever named their child Naz? I kind of love it, not gonna lie. But what she lacks in a normal name, she makes up for with a rather interesting set of abilities, mostly stemming from her feminine charms. With Kevin, Double D, Eddie, Ed, and even Johnny at some points becoming completely infatuated by her. That's not the entire cast, mind you, but it's a good amount which she has some serious potential against. Now, her physical strength level is probably about a notch or two above Double D's, which isn't saying that much. There have been times where she's tried to confront characters far above her. And,
Sarah.
yeah,
Sarah
that
var
is
S-tier.
pretty pathetic
Nej,
at
hun er
times.
A-tier.
Also, in terms of intelligence, well,
Sarah kan argumenteres mod
she
S-tier.
isn't exactly shown to be the sharpest tool in the shed. But God, that infatuation ability, that can be absolutely devastating in the right scenario. What's ultimately holding her back are a couple of things. For starters, she doesn't seem to be all that aware of her own abilities, or at least not aware enough to actively train them, as she mostly appears to be completely oblivious to her potential. Now, there is exactly one time in the whole series where she purposely attempts to use these powers to her advantage, in the episode High-Heeled Eds, where she attempts to get the coveted golden pants from Eddie. However, she is ultimately unsuccessful in this attempt, thus proving how untested these abilities are. But I guess it does show that she is at least somewhat aware of them. Perhaps she doesn't tap into this power because it's too much for even her to handle, as seen in the episode Boys Will Be Eds, where she was completely overwhelmed by the effects of her own abilities. Another theory why she doesn't use this more would be due to her kind-hearted nature. She's probably the most morally just character in the entire show and is mostly a pacifist in nature, so using her abilities for more manipulative and self-serving reasons is probably not something she's all that fond of doing. All of this, coupled with the fact that her abilities have no effect on half of the cast, is why I can't put Naz any higher. Moving up a tier, and we come to arguably the main character of the show. Who is a rather
Eddie!
unconventional fighter. Well, Eddie does have some amount of physical strength and fighting technique. His main skill set comes from his tactics of manipulation and deception. Unlike Double D, Eddie has a vast understanding of the other kids' personalities, their desires, their strengths, weaknesses, fears, and he often uses this to his advantage. He's been able to successfully deceive every single other character on the show at least once, and often multiple times. A great example of this comes from the episode All Eds Are Off, where the characters each wager a quarter and swear off of one of their flanderized personality quirks, with the winner being whoever can go the longest without giving in. And Eddie does a dastardly cunning job of wearing down and emotionally breaking everyone else into submitting. However, Eddie's successes usually don't last very long and have a tendency to blow up in his and the other Ed's faces. But the fact that even after all these failed attempts, along with everyone's natural distrust of him, he still manages to pull off or come close to pulling off numerous schemes is just a testament to how strong Eddie's abilities can potentially be. Physically, I'd say Eddie is about average, maybe slightly below average. He's not shown to be particularly strong or skilled in head-to-head combat, but he is full of surprises, actually being able to hold his own and occasionally scoring some impressive blows on characters far stronger than him. A lot of Eddie's strength in this area comes from what the fan base has dubbed the rage boost, when a character gives into their anger and emotions and receives a tremendous power boost as a result. And yeah, it's clear Eddie has some practice with this technique. However, prolonged exposure does take a toll on the body, so it's not a form that can be sustained with ease. Other strengths of his include a high stealth level, decent speed, an impressive pain tolerance, some type of minor voodoo shadow manipulation, being disturbingly adept at many forms of torture, and surprisingly, having some inventing and engineering skills. Now, they're nowhere near as good as Double D's are, but Eddie has been shown to create a few contraptions entirely on his own. The culmination of his true power comes from the episode Out with the Old, In with the Ed, where Eddie, through several different tactics, actually manages to fool the entire cul-de-sac into believing that it was still summer, even as school was approaching the very next day. This is one impressive feat, even if it was eventually unmasked. And I suppose I also have to cover the controversial Ray of Riches technique from the episode Rob and Ed. See, in this episode, Johnny and Eddie don comic book personas and have a little imaginary fight where, at one point, Eddie proceeds to fire a stream of energy projectiles, seemingly from his mind. Now, the fan base is rather torn on this move, as some argue it's entirely imaginary, stemming from the fictional nature of the fight, while others try to argue that it's real due to Johnny's physical reaction to the attack. I strongly side with the former here because, like, come on. If Eddie really had access to an ability like this, don't you think he'd attempt to use it at least one other time? So, yeah, I'm not counting this move. But now it's time to discuss Eddie's flaws, and oh boy, he sure has some big ones. Eddie is sadistic, extremely petty, and has one delusional ego. He seems to have actually fooled himself into believing he's more well-liked and popular than he really is, and will often go to drastic, borderline psychotic lengths just to prove it, while getting easily provoked by the smallest of things. Johnny and Jimmy playfully declare Plank as king of the cul-de-sac. Well, clearly Eddie thinks he should be king, so he coerces the entire cul-de-sac into an election campaign, all in order to satisfy his own ego. Everyone's giving Jimmy a bunch of attention after he sustained an injury. Well, Eddie sees this, gets jealous, and then goes through the process of trying to have as much pain inflicted on him as possible, delighting in the sympathy he's about to receive. Yeah, Eddie's shown to be a bit mentally and emotionally unstable on multiple occasions. For example, in the episode Luck of the Eds, after Ed forgets where he hides Eddie's porno magazines, Eddie becomes increasingly paranoid and distrustful to an almost irrational level. And then there's the episode Laugh, Ed Laugh, where without anyone to scam, Eddie's immense boredom causes him to snap and he completely loses his goddamn mind. Overall, this is a dangerous combination of personality traits that ends up hurting him a lot more than they help. One aspect of Eddie's character I believe to be both a blessing and a curse would be his insatiable greed. It's definitely caused him his fair share of problems, but it can also provide a benefit that's very similar to the rage boost. The rush of adrenaline that he receives as a result of this greed sometimes causes him to push himself far beyond his physical and mental limits, such as in the episode The Eds Are Coming, where Eddie suppresses any fear of potential alien invaders, charging in head first in hopes of capturing one for profit. Whew. Okay. I think that's enough about Eddie. I could honestly go on, but, we have to move on to other characters. Next, we have our very first character of notable physical strength. Yeah, Kevin is no pushover when it comes to combat, being able to hold his own against a good amount of the cast with his brutal fighting techniques. However, as tough as Kevin may be, I don't believe he's quite as strong as many give him credit for. And I feel his greatest strengths come down to both his charisma and authority. Kevin has managed to win the respect and adoration of almost every kid in the cul-de-sac, all due to his cool demeanor, impressive showy stunt work, and not to mention his entire garage full of jawbreakers that he gives out on a regular basis.
Back to it, drengene.
Notice, throughout the series, Kevin actually doesn't do all that much fighting on his own, being much more likely to rally all the other kids together for a group attack. Now, like I said before, Kevin is no slouch in combat, but I do think even he realizes that there are others on his side who are even stronger than him, so he often gets their help in order to increase his odds of victory. On his own, Kevin has actually been caught off guard and overwhelmed, leading to his defeat at the hands of opponents he's usually capable of defeating. But Kevin has the confidence and courage that often have him taking charge of a situation and leading the others. This status tends to lend Kevin an imposing authority, often making his enemies think twice before crossing him. In terms of intelligence, Kevin isn't too bright, but he does have a decent amount of common sense. He's by far the least trusting of the Eds and their schemes, which allow him to catch on to things before most of the others. This distrust has worked to his detriment once before, but apart from that, it's usually a benefit. While Kevin does have his strengths, I do believe that there are a lot of characters who could still beat him if they were forced to fight. They usually don't, though, since they're almost always on the same side. Now, Johnny here is the wild card of the show, the ultimate chaotic neutral character. Definitely the most unpredictable combatant on the roster. I can never quite get a read on this guy, and I don't think anyone else in the show can either. For example, sometimes they'll be fighting against the Eds, but other times they'll join forces with them and help them out. Much like now, Johnny seems to be a bit of a pacifist in nature. He comes off as a strange boy living in his own little world, being easily amused by the simplest of things. However, I'm not exactly sure how much of this is real and how much of it is a mask he puts on in order to lull his opponents into a false sense of security around him. I think it's a combination of both, honestly. Probably a little more of the former than the latter. Johnny is a happy-go-lucky, quirky kid, but I don't think he's quite as oblivious as he leads on. See, Johnny's greatest power comes from his mind game potential, being able to toy with people and have them playing his game. And nowhere is this shown better than with his best friend Plank. I'm gonna be frank here. Despite what some may believe, the Plank, in a literal sense, is nothing more than just an ordinary hunk of wood with a face. He doesn't have any supernatural powers or any actual consciousness of his own. However, despite this, Plank does actually have his own personality and characteristics separate from Johnny's, but they all stem from Johnny's imagination. He is so thoroughly convinced that Plank is alive that he gets everyone else, who all know Plank is nothing more than an ordinary hunk of wood, to fully acknowledge him as a separate person and play along with Johnny's game. But like I said before, Johnny is largely a pacifist in nature, mostly concerned with just having fun and occasionally standing up for mutant rights. So he hardly ever uses any of his abilities for ill intent. But when he does, oh boy, he and Plank are able to play people like a fiddle. One of the best examples of this, of course, comes from Gimme Gimme Never Ed, where Johnny and Plank end up toying with the Eds throughout the whole episode, getting them to build increasingly more elaborate and expensive rides for Plank, and then, through one decisive they end up swiftly defeating all three, getting their money back in the process. And this isn't the only occasion where the Eds attempted to use Johnny for one of their schemes, only for him to turn the tables on them in the end. That's not to say Johnny is a complete genius or anything. He is shown to be easily duped, easily impressed, or easily distracted as a result of his carefree nature. And another drawback that Johnny happens to share with Eddie would be his, less than stable mental state, which is probably even more apparent here, often being pointed out by the other characters.
Who knows what this will do to Johnny when he sees this, Eddie? His ties to reality are already tenuous at best. La-di-da-di-da-di-da.
So, the kid weirds me out too! Look at him! See, whenever Johnny is separated from Plank, he tends to lose it, either falling into a deep depression, paranoia, or becoming manically dependent on others. And by the end of the series, Johnny completely snaps. But seeing as it was the final scene of the whole show, we're ultimately unable to tell what this transformation was capable of. As far as direct combat capabilities, Johnny can be surprisingly competent, but only when he's motivated by some outside force, causing him to make some decently effective use of the Rage Boost form, such as when the Eds destroyed his house, or when Plank was captured by the Kankers, in which case Johnny actually managed to pull off one of the most impressive strategic victories in the whole series. The only other main time Johnny engaged in direct combat was for his own amusement as he donned his Captain Melonhead persona. In this form, though, Johnny is able to take advantage of a move called the Melon Rush, where he builds up an incredible amount of speed and charges headfirst into his opponent, and unlike the Ray of Riches, this was actually shown to be a real move he could take advantage of. So yeah, that's Johnny. Now we move on to the A tier, and this was probably the hardest tier for me to rank. All three characters I have ranked here are pretty similar in power levels, but I dug into my notes to see what kind of attributes some had over others. So, at the bottom of A, we have our final member of the main trio. Now, in terms of raw physical strength,
Jeg vil ikke sætte et på B.
surpasses Ed. This is the guy who's able to effortlessly lift an entire packet of similar others.
Godt, han er på A. Super.
But I dug into my notes to see what kind of attributes some had over
Et
others.
smadrer
So,
Karsten.
at the bottom of A,
Han er godt shit.
we have our final member of the main trio. Now, in terms of raw physical strength, yeah, no one surpasses Ed. This is the guy who's able to effortlessly lift an entire house over his head. This leads the more casual fans to deem him as an undisputed S tier, but amongst the true fans, we know that isn't quite the case. You see, raw strength isn't everything, and Ed's overwhelming power is balanced out by having the lowest intelligence level out of every other fighter. Ed doesn't have any fighting techniques, any strategy, any sort of skills.
Et er power. Et kan gøre. Hvis Ed vil, han tager powerpapirerne.
This frequently
Alle tre.
causes him to be easily
I don't
defeated
give a
by
shit.
characters who are often far weaker than him strength-wise. But let's not underestimate him either. I'm placing him this high for a reason.
Serious Ed?
He is
Beating everyone.
damn strong. And if he tries his hardest, has a good chance of defeating many of the cul-de-sac kids. Ed might seem like a predictable one-trick pony, and for the most part he is. But he does have access to quite a few unique forms that he's managed to see some success with. One of the most popular being the monster form. Ed was actually able to subdue a good amount of the roster with this. However, it wasn't due to any significant power boost granted by the transformation, but more so the fear it induced from the other kids believing he was a real monster, so it isn't all that reliable now that the ruse is up. Ed also once entered one hell of a rage boost state, which even managed to intimidate his sister, Sarah. But this was a very rare occurrence, born out of discomfort from one particular pebble in his shoe. But there's still one other form that I believe to be Ed's most effective transformation, and that would have to be his Lothar form from the Halloween special, based off of some Viking warrior character from one of his movies. With this one, Ed was actually able to apply some technique to his fighting style, albeit ones he mimics from television, but he was actually shown to be more than a capable fighter with this. Yeah, but the thing is, these forms are ultimately pretty unreliable due to the specific and rare circumstances they require to unlock. So,
Kan vi godt...
next up,
Lad os se Flame... Vi kan godt se Flame som one. Det er længe siden, vi har set det.
This is gonna be a controversial choice. Boom!
Marie? Over Ed? Ja, ja.
You shall not pass er ikke noget, som Frodo siger, så det giver ikke helt mening, at jeg sidder med Frodos sværd. Men i dag, der skal det handle om Hollywood-film. Vi ved alle sammen godt, at store Hollywood-film har en filmplakat. Men hvad nu, hvis disse film ikke var film, men faktisk bare var YouTube-videoer? Det er det, vi skal prøve at lege med i dag, for jeg tænkte, det kunne være sjovt at få forskellige store Hollywood-film til at være en YouTube-video, og hvordan vil den så se ud på thumbnail og på titel? Jeg har valgt 9 forskellige film, og så skal vi se, om vi kan lave noget sjov ud af det. Så velkommen til, og hvis du godt kunne tænke dig at se mere ligesom det her i fremtiden, så smid et like og skriv en kommentar nedenunder. Du kan selvfølgelig ikke rigtig sige, om du vil se det, fordi du har ikke set det endnu, så du aner ikke, om det er sjovt. Så vent lige til efter videoen med at sige det, ikke? Tusind tak. Lad os starte fra en ende af. Jeg tænker, at den første film, vi skal prøve, er Aquaman. Vi skal bruge et eller andet, og her, som skal refereres som vand. Og så skal vi have, jeg tænker, hende den rødhårede, det er ikke huske, hvad hun hedder. Men jeg ved, det er Amber Heard, der spiller hende. Jeg prøvede lige at bruge det store internet og skrive Amber Heard from the movie Aquaman in a slide. Der fik jeg simpelthen det her, som jeg tænker, vi godt kan gå efter. Det er jo meget fint. Det ligner jo hendes kostume der, så det er jo perfekt. Sådan der, jeg synes dog, hendes hoved det ikke så pænt ud, så jeg tænker, vi skal have fundet et Amber Heard hoved også, som vi kan bruge, som er lidt mere interessant at kigge på. Sådan et har vi her. Tada! Det er Amber Heard. Og så maler vi lige lidt hudfarve som hals, fordi det andet så lidt weird ud. Det skal nok blive rigtig godt, det her, drengene og pigerne. Så fyrer vi Aquaman ind i den her boks her.
The fuck?
Med en lille smule glow, så det ser pænt ud. Sådan der, det ser umiddelbart meget fint ud. Vi skal selvfølgelig lige tweak det lidt mere, fordi man kan se herude i siden er det ikke så pænt og så videre. Og vi mangler lige lidt hernede også, som vi lige skal have fixet. Så har jeg fundet det her PNG vandsplash, som vi også lige fyrer ind. Sådan derop foran hende for at gøre det lidt mere levende. Men det tror jeg faktisk var det. Så mangler der selvfølgelig lige The Classic Old Clark. Fordi vi laver 24 timer i en vandpark. Super duper, så skal der bare lige de sidste små touches på color grading og lidt sharpening på. Her har vi ændret lidt på farven, som I kan se. Og så fyrer vi lidt sharpness på, også som vi lige har gjort. Jeg fandt i det her ekstra stykke theme park noget, som jeg tænker kunne være i midten. Sådan herude for at give lidt mere dybde i billedet. Fordi så er der forgrund, der er baggrunden her bag.
Ja, hvordan var video god?
Eller hvad vi skal kalde den. Men det tror jeg var det. 24 timer i et badeland. Bummeldum, det er sådan her, det vil se ud, hvis at Aquaman var en YouTube-video. Bum. Næste film. Det næste vi tager, det er Frozen, og der fandt jeg simpelthen...
Yes, endelig! Endelig!
Oplagt, fordi at det er en Mr. Beast-en, den ligner noget spændende. Et PNG af de her 2 søde nogen. Den ene hedder Olaf, den anden kan jeg ikke huske, hvad hedder, men de skal i hvert fald med på thumbnailen. Sådan der. Sidder der lige så fint. Så har vi de 2 hovedkarakterer her. Det er faktisk lavet på 2 forskellige billeder. Det er hovedet er separat, som I kan se her. Så har vi her et snelag, som vi lige skal have fedtet lidt ud. Så har vi lidt sne, som vi skal ind i forgrunden selvfølgelig. Det giver mening, ikke? Og så selvfølgelig en tekst, der siger dag 1 sådan der, fordi det er den første dag i udfordringen. Noget i den her stil, og så lige nogle final touches, noget image enhancer, og så har vi altså det her, mine damer og herrer. Vi kunne have justeret det her lidt bedre, men I skal huske på, at en thumbnail er altså så lille her, så man ser det ikke. Og den er jo så lidt det samme, ikke? Det er 24 timer. Den kunne vi selv ændre til sidste person, som forlader isverden, vinder. Hvem vinder munden? Og det er så dag 1, ikke? Det var Frozen igen. Lad os gå til den næste film.
Nikki.
Den næste film, vi tager, det er selvfølgelig Barbie. Og Barbie er jo en yderst interessant film, hvor alting er lyserødt.
Top cup. Åh nej. Streamen.